everybody. You're watching the show called Box Seats, where comedians talk about sports. I'm your host today, Frank Holder. Let me first bring up my man known as Talent. Talent, how you doing today, sir? How's everything, bro?
Hey, fantastic, Frank. It's Friday, baby. You know that's my favorite day, right? Friday. Yeah, so I'm good. I'm good. This is the Friday though. You got to swerve on that. Woo! I'm ready, baby.
Yeah, and like Dude guy said, man, I'm getting sick with the waves because you're doing all that stuff right now. So it's like a waving on the beach right now. And I can't wave. What's up,
man? I almost started singing that Al B. Shore song "Off on Your Own" when I saw Talent Hair.
Let me also bring in my man, Mr. A-Rock Silly, Amir. A-Rock Silly, how you doing today, bro? How's everything, bro?
I'm good. How you gentlemen doing today? It's Friday, baby. Yes. TGIF. For show.
All right, so now if you guys could share the show on your pages and stuff, that'd be not that you guys don't do it anyway, but because normally I'm broadcasting on Rodney Perry's page. Today we're not doing that because obviously we want to be able to spread this Humor Mill page too. So we're going to jump into this first thing, man, and I'm going to start with Talent in a second, man. I'm going to say, all right, so here's where we're at, Talent. The other, last week we were talking about Dwayne Haskins. We were talking about how he was crossing a highway and had 5 lanes on one way and 5 lanes on the other. And we couldn't figure it out, T. We were thinking, like, what was wrong with him? Like, why would he do that? Come to find out after yesterday morning, it was released that Dwayne Haskins' wife said that he was trying to get gas, and he was crossing the highway to get gas on the other side, and he thought he could get the gas and obviously pump it and then cross back. So he got hit going across the highway because his car ran out of gas. Now that makes a whole lot better sense than people were trying to pump the narrative that, maybe he was doing drugs because it was 6:30 in the morning. What's your take, T?
It's still crazy. I don't give a damn if he was going to get a gallon of milk. It's 6 in the morning. It's a highway, for God's sakes. I think back to when we were kids and we got 2-3 lanes over by the crib. We got 4 different highways. And we used to do stupid stuff as kids, running and trying to cut across these highways and judge the traffic and all that. Now, factor in 6 in the morning and factor in you ain't no stupid little kid like me and grown-ass man running out of gas. That's still not the answer.
Right.
That's a little off to me. I'm sorry. I mean, I don't want to, force a narrative or think that there's some underlying thing going on, but it has to be. I mean, that's still no. Dude, I put it in Chinese arithmetic. I put it in basic math, algebra, trigonometry, and none of that's coming out correct.
Also joining the show is Fig, the comedian known as Fig. How you doing, sir?
Hey, man, I'm good, man. I just made it to this hotel, man. They ain't let nobody check in till 3 o'clock.
Ooh.
Well, that's normally the norm, Fig.
It'd be like that. So, Duga, when you hear that Dwayne Haskins, Duga, Double D, when you hear that Dwayne Haskins was crossing the street and that happens and everything else, and he didn't call AAA, he was trying to get gas, you know what I mean? What's your take?
It breaks my heart because it didn't have to be. Where were you guys at 6 in the morning? Were you going to the airport? I don't know, but come on, man. You got money, bro. You got enough cars. Drive the one that has gas in it. This brother's life was taken, and it didn't have to be taken, and it seems to be that it was on him.
Hey, Rock, you want to add to that, bro?
It's weird because again, like you said, first of all, it's still not adding up. I don't understand that he didn't have a cell phone, like you said. We couldn't call AAA at 6:30 in the morning that early. I don't give a damn on how light the traffic may seemingly be. It's still a highway. That's not like crossing just a regular street. It's a highway. There's no two ways about that, and it just is still mind blowing. 10 lanes, some kind of way you playing Frogger as a whole grown up. Like, what are we doing?
He said Frogger. Fig, you get the last word on this, bro. What's your take on this, man?
Man, it's basically extremely sad that something like that would happen to anybody, let alone a star quarterback in the NFL, man. it doesn't make sense how you have millions of dollars and run out of gas. I don't get that. I don't know, but he was also young too, so that's some things that young people do sometimes. So I don't know, man.
Not just young, because my wife's been known to be riding on E when that blinking light be like bling, 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 and got money, can stop anytime. But just, some people just choose not to go get gas for some reason. You know what I mean? Like, and I better not talk too loud because she's home today. I don't want her to hear that I'm blowing her. So, the next story up is I wanted to throw this out there to you. We're going to talk about the NBA for a hot second. I want to go back to some of the other stories. But in the NBA, Ben Simmons is speaking live to the press right now, ESPN, and he's talking about right now that he's going to make a comeback. He sees that he thinks he could be able to help the team, et cetera, about, normal routine, everything else. If you're the Brooklyn Nets right now, bro, do you honestly think that it's a moment where you think you should try to rush him back and have him play in this series? Or you should just, say, bro, let's just hold out for you for the beginning of next year. I don't know. I don't want to say too much. But what's your thought about Ben Simmons getting ready to trying to play Game 4 of the Brooklyn Nets series, T? What's your thoughts?
I mean, you bring him back. You absolutely bring Ben Simmons into the fold right now because they're going home. And your first game's back. You want to be at home for one to build that camaraderie and get that confidence under your wings. Secondly, they're going to need him. Going back, you get the confidence now for these couple of games because going back to Boston, now you're going to super duper mean. People are forgetting, even though Kyrie may be the best point guard in the game right now, and one of the best dudes to play the game, he is weak because of Ramadan. I don't care what nobody say. Certain things you can't fight against, and he's in the middle of Ramadan, and he's still got a ways to go before he can kind of get the substance and those energy things that the body requires. You could fight sayings, but sayings are there because they're true. Like you go swimming all day, you're gonna be done for anything else. You can't go swim and play a basketball full court and think you're gonna put out the way you normally would. Certain things take from the body, and definitely fasting is at the top of that list.
Yeah, there's no doubt about that. Dugard, do you think, honestly, the Nets should be pressing Ben Simmons to be playing in this series right now? Or do you think they should just say, scrap it till next year? What you think, Double D?
What would it hurt? It wouldn't hurt anything. You down. You lose. You down. So it's like the fans would go bananas. The team would dig it. He's a 6'10" big body. And he would change the defensive scheme with the other team because now they gotta put him into play. So I don't think it would hurt. It would only help. It would only help, man. A big body, a ball handler, somebody who can spread the floor. And you need right now an injection of adrenaline for that home team at home. They need it because if they lose this next game, it's a wrap.
Yeah, I think so too. For me, the problem is that I think that it's more so coaching than it is the player. But everybody has their own reason on why they, obviously it's going on right now. But Ben Simmons is talking about literally trying to even make it for Game 3. You know what I mean? He's trying to rush to make it for Game 3. But it's a back issue. You know what I mean? It's a back issue is what he's talking about. What's your take on this, Amir?
Well, again, Ben Simmons, as much as we have, had to talk about him over the last season and a half, almost 2 seasons now. Look, I get it. It's a back injury. Nobody can say what a back injury is or is not. Ben, either you're really ready to play and be a part of the NBA and show us what you're made of, or you're not. The problem, like I said, that I've had with this thing from day one is the fact that we keep, giving him these outs. Ben, everybody else is playing with injury or playing through injury. What makes Ben Simmons any different? Whether it's his back, whether it's a sprain, whatever, what makes him any different? We've given him these excuses, and everybody goes along with it. And I do agree with you, Frank, that I do think it's really coaching more so than anything else. But everybody's making some valid points. Talent's right. Ramadan's got Kyrie messed up. All y'all need somebody and something that is going to help that team kind of solidify themselves and get prepared to really go out and fight for what it is y'all say y'all want to do. What you gonna do?
Fig just fell out. I was gonna throw it to him. T, it looks like Chris Middleton is not gonna be playing for the Bucks for the rest of the series. They think he's coming back in 2 weeks. We're gonna talk about some of the NBA games, like you talk about, obviously, because some of the NBA games happened last night. But Chris Middleton is definitely done. You're looking at the Bucks right now. They don't have PJ. PJ. Oh my God, PJ's last name Tucker. They don't have PJ Tucker anymore. So now PJ Tucker's gone because he's not on the team anymore, and now Chris Middleton's not there. But they playing a good Chicago team, bro. It don't look. I don't care what nobody says. The tea leaves don't look good for the Milwaukee Bucks in this series. Forget about the next series. In this series, to me, it don't look good. T, you betting man? You betting on them?
No, it don't look good. Middleton is the Draymond of that team. On both sides of the ball, like he's the offensive and defensive Draymond Green of that team. He's that heart, pulse of the heart. And if he's not coming back, don't get me wrong, Greek gonna do his thing. He's gonna give you the number that he gives you. But cohesiveness and that unit thing that happens that drives them to win force that we become to know them as, that landscape all changes. Now, history has shown us that teams have other players that somehow are forced to step up. This is Holiday's time.
Mm-hmm.
This is Holiday's time to step up. And not that he hasn't done a great job, but now you got to do an even greater job because Middleton, any team lose Draymond, we see what that does.
Yeah, I can't. I don't think there's anything you said that I could disagree with on that spot. Now, Daniel Dugard. The problem is that Chris Middleton is their second leading scorer on the team. He just thinks Drew Holiday should step up. I think they're still short another player. Even if Drew Holiday does step up, I still think they're short. But I've seen different things happen. Yeah,
this is the reason why you brought Holiday there. This is the reason. So he has to step up. The other big man, what's the big man? Is it Lopez?
Yeah.
He's got to do his due diligence. With this happening, man, with him being out 2 to 3 weeks, Miami and Boston sure does sound good right now, don't it?
Yeah. I think that's what we're probably looking at. Fig looks like he's joined the show back again. I don't know what's going on, but Fig's back again. Amir, what's your take on this, man? What's your take on what we're talking about?
I think Chris Middleton is a huge loss for the Milwaukee Bucks, but I do think there is a shooter on the Milwaukee Bucks. His name escapes me right now. He's one of the white players on the team. He's gonna have to elevate his game. He can knock down shots. Yes, Lopez is gonna have to step up. Most certainly, the other young man that y'all just spoke of, but there's a white guy on that team. Like I said, his name escapes me at the moment, but he's a shooter, sir. This again. Talent's point. This is why you have a team. This is where you earn your keep for being on this team or being a part of this team. Somebody other than the main two people who y'all just spoke of is most certainly going to have to step up and knock down shots. And I'm not only talking about the long ball. You're going to have to go to that mid-range game that Chris Middleton brings to that team. You know what I mean? So,
long ball. Over here, minding my business.
I was waiting for somebody to say, Paul, I knew it was covered. Fig, we were talking about Chris Middleton. I don't know if you heard, but we talked about Chris Middleton being out for the rest of the series. Everything else, we were talking about somebody else got to step up, or is it written on the tea leaves that Milwaukee's not getting past Chicago in this series? What's your take on this, Fig?
Oh, man, it's a tough call, man, to have Milwaukee go without an all-star player with the caliber of Chris Middleton because he's a defender. He gets rebounds. He know that when you need a shot, that's the player that they go to in Milwaukee. Like Chris Middleton is like that dude. He gets buckets. Chris Middleton can't be replaced with one player. He can go for 30, 40 easily. So it's going to have to be a complete team effort to be able to replace a player the caliber of a Chris Middleton. He's just not a guy. He's one of the guys. He's probably number 2 on that team. It's Giannis. It's Chris Middleton. So you need a couple of guys that's going to be able to fill in for Chris Middleton, man.
Yeah. He's definitely he's
definitely their Sidney Moncrief. He is definitely their Sidney Moncrief.
Yeah, there's no doubt about it. So, talent, man. Last night, right? I'm out. I'm enjoying. I'm enjoying everything else. I'm going out. About town, right? I see the Memphis Grizzlies score. Memphis is down by 26. I was okay. That game's over. I probably won't watch. So then I come back home. I sit down. And I said, okay, let me just see where the game's at, because I didn't watch the game, and they up by 10, end up winning the game. I was so mad I missed it. I was like, wow. Then, of course, I saw the highlights and everything else. I've never seen a team down by 26 so late in the game come back. And now the Celtics did against the Lakers back in 2006, 2007. I saw that happen. But that was earlier. I've never seen a team come back down so much so late in the game and then win by so much. So my point of asking you is, are you surprised with the Memphis Grizzlies being wake up? Because they were down by 20 twice in this game. Not once, twice. So what's your take on this, T? What do you think?
Let me tell you something. What really surprises me is that Fig is at that hotel prize attention. 3 in this country. I don't know what that's an old. He's becoming an old comedian to show up this early and can't get in there. Yeah, that's surprising because usually those big gaps of scoring come first, second quarter or the beginning of the third, and you're like, okay, you're still hanging in there. Like, we got time. There's a lot of time. But when it's late in the game and you go down not one or two occasions, and then the swing is not only just creeping back up to win by a little bit, but to blow your ass out. Oh, that's miraculous. I think Memphis is making a statement, bro. And they had to since one. They had to.
Yeah, I think so too. Now, D, I heard from a couple of commentators last night that it was the worst coaching they've ever seen in any NBA playoff game at all. Now, I didn't watch the game. I'm hoping that you watched it. Of course, I read about it. I know what happened, everything else. But as you were watching the game, I'm assuming you watched the game real time. Do you agree it was the worst coaching that you've ever seen? Can you talk to me about that?
How does a team allow for a team twice to go on a goose egg run and you not call a timeout?
Right.
Where you don't score nothing. You know, like they were saying, you know, usually you'll let the players play through an 8-2 run, but when they get to 10 and 12 and 13, it's like, yo, we need a timeout, man. And they let them cats come back, and it was just like, and y'all just re-upped this coach's contract? It showed lack thereof, poor coaching, and it was just a disgrace.
Well, in all fairness, honesty, Amir, during the season, I think he was getting accolades because of how good Minnesota Timberwolves did. That's why they gave him the contract. Obviously, what Dugar said is he's right on that too.
Frank, it was sarcasm.
No, I know. I know. I was trying to get ready to lead this up, but thanks for busting it. You know what I mean? He busted my corny joke went out the window.
My bad, young fella. My bad, young fella. I
was trying to get to the comedy joke.
My bad, man. You're not a comedy.
What's your take on this, bro?
You know, again, that was an interesting game. I think that, you know, the team with Morant on it, you know, has been overlooked. Yes, I think Cat and those guys are good. I think they have a nice situation over there. Beverly, you know, can be annoying at times and all of that kind of stuff. But what you watched was these guys just play through it. They really just hung in there and stuck to their guns. The fact that Minnesota, you know, went cold for a while and, you know, and all that stuff is a testament. And this is why it's amazing. You know, we talk all of these things about Cat and, you know, how great a big man he is, and he is. But, sir, this is when you prove it. So far now, already in the playoffs, he's already given us, you know, cause to question his supposed greatness just based off of how he's played in games where they need to see him be great. Sir, you're the biggest and one of the greatest talents on either side. Where's it at? What you doing?
Yeah, I agree with that one. Fig, you want to throw it on that?
Yeah, man. Here's the thing. The police department set out an APB for Karl Anthony Towns. The coach needs to be locked up. He needs to be arrested for impersonating an NBA coach. Here's the thing. When you're a big man, like a Karl Anthony Towns, you're dependent on the point guards or the other players to get you the ball in a position where you could do damage. When another team goes on a run like that, the smart thing would be to do, number one, the coach needs to call a timeout and stop the bleeding. That's number one. And number two, you need to put the ball down in the post with one of the most premier big men NBA has today. This kid actually won the 3-point shooting contest. And there was several times where I saw him standing, jumping up and down with his hands up in the air, and nobody would get him the ball. That is coaching and bad basketball. You got to get this guy the ball in a place where he can score to at least stop the bleeding, get a shot. If you get this kid the ball in the paint, I think they go on to win. Either he scores or he gets a foul because he's really unstoppable. He's a big scorer. It was horrible on so many levels last night to watch them lose 2 20-point leads. It was absolutely ridiculous.
That's one thing I've never seen. I've never seen a team lose 2 20-point leads in one game and come back, and then the dude doesn't call a timeout. That's what blew me away. There was some breaking news that happened while we were on the air. Charlotte Hornets fired their head coach James Borrego, and you want to talk about horrible coaching like that? Charlotte Hornets was one of the leading teams in the East and totally collapsed after the holidays and everything else. Granted, they had a couple of injuries and stuff. They did that. But anyway, let's move on to the Golden State Warriors, man. Now, that game I did watch, T. I saw Golden State literally put on what I would call an offensive clinic by the way they moved the ball. You know what I mean? Even though Denver was trying to make a push and everything, and I was watching the game, I saw Denver making a push. I know Dugard watched the game. I was like, these boys are really making a statement. So I want to ask you, man, does Golden State really impress you? Because they took Denver's best punch, and I think Denver's getting ready to get swept. Denver lost. They're down 3-0. What was your take when you see Golden State take Denver's best punch and still come out the game? What you think, T?
You're absolutely right. They took the best punches, a rat fizzle. Go ahead. They might as well start unlacing those sneakers as we speak. But they showed in the last night game, that's why they're so likable, though. You know what I mean? Like, you have to really Golden State Warriors. That's why they're so likable. When you see them out there playing ball and having fun, when they, like you said, the offense is flowing, they're moving the ball, and the things are happening for them, and they just having physical fun and joking, and Steph with the antics with the eyes, and all of that. That's playground ball. That's why you bring the fans in. You keep the fans in. I think it's over. I think it's a sweep.
Yeah, I think it's a sweep too. Daniel Dugard, this is your team. You did say that Golden State is going to run through Denver. Everything else, I thought Denver was going to at least get one game. I don't even see that. D. What's your take on this series?
Just a little note to Fig. Fig, you're in the lobby of the hotel. There's a thing called checking into the Wi-Fi because you're sticking quite a bit. Just get the code. So back to you, Frank. Golden State didn't even play their best game yesterday.
Mm-hmm.
They let Denver come back in, and it does show that if you pound them in the middle, they become a liability. But when they put that death squad on you, it forces the big man to come out, and you can drop on him real quick with the blow-bys. You know what, man? Denver might get the next game. It depends, but I think Golden State will sweep them. But they haven't even unleashed Kuminga yet, man. They haven't unleashed that kid yet.
You're not concerned with the injuries because Draymond Green got a nagging injury last night with an ankle.
Look, man, it's the playoffs, man. They play with injuries the whole season, man. You're not gonna sit up here and put yourself on the bench behind a nagging injury that can heal over the summer. It's playoff time, man. Golden State is sitting in a position now to where Booker is hurt. So now we can go challenge Phoenix. We got Memphis, who's been talking a lot of smack. They got some young hawks. They remind me of that old Louisville team back in the day. Everybody can ball. And everybody is cocky, with the McCray brothers and all of them. That's what they remind me of. And Warriors are going to have their hands full if they end up meeting Memphis. Because mano a mano, it's going to be like y'all say in New York, it's going to be Rutgers, man, on the blacktop because you got all them guards that can ball.
You said they didn't unleash who yet?
Kuminga, the young kid, the young kid, that dude can ball.
He sound like an African porn star.
Really? But he jumps like Dominique though, and he got game.
Mm-hmm. So okay, all right. Amir, your take on the series, bro? I mean, when you look at it, everything, do you think the nagging injury is going to catch up to those dudes?
Yeah, I don't know if the nagging injuries are going to catch up because they appear to be playing, what you'd like to see at this time of the year, which is as a cohesive unit. Everybody appears to be able to step in and step up and add something to what it is they're doing. Obviously not having or Draymond, being in the space that he's in. Draymond's the kind of player though that even from the sideline, you still got Iguodala who can come in and kind of give you that Draymond energy and so forth and so on. So I think they're going to be fine. I'm more concerned about Denver and the fact that for whatever reason they can't seem to find their synergy. That young team over there with Clarkson, Donovan, the big man and all that. I'm like, fellas, what's going on? Yo, they look really out of sync. Yeah, they're making shots here and there, but they don't look like they've come to play. Like, you know what, guys? We in the playoffs. They look like they still in regular season mode. You're like, fellas, would somebody click on the playoff mode for y'all? Please click that on. Start doing what you're supposed to do. It's weird. I was like, they look like it's a regular season.
Like a video game. Like a video game. Yeah. Like a video game. You got to push that button. Fig, what was your take on Golden? Because I know you saw the Golden State game last night.
Oh, absolutely, man. The thing is that Golden State is a well-oiled machine. They've been here before. None of this is new. They've all played through injuries prior to this, and they're not afraid of Jokic. You got Draymond Green that plays him straight up. He asks for no help, no double teams, none of that. Draymond Green is a monster. He may not be able to score like Steph, Clay, and Poole and the rest of the guys, but he is the monster of that team. He's the dude in the middle, and he makes it happen. And when them dudes are clicking and they're moving the ball around and knocking down shots, you got Clay who's coming back doing the damn thing. Steph Curry is firing on all cylinders coming off the bench. And this kid, Jordan Poole, is an absolute emerging star. And like Dugar said, man, they even bring this kid Kuminga off the bench yet. And this kid is an athletic freak of nature. Man, I'm telling you, Golden State is probably going to sweep them. And Jokic's going to have some stuff to talk about, how you can win the MVP and not be able to get one game in the playoffs.
Ooh, hey, Frank, real quick before you say, guys, remember the bubble? Remember how Steve Kerr played all of those guys in the bubble?
Yep.
It was for these moments now. Because like Amir said, when them cats come off the bench, they feel right in. It ain't no fallback. They fall right in and they keep it going.
Yeah, there's no doubt about that.
Strength in numbers. That's the motto.
Strength in numbers, baby. Let me go get my t-shirt. Hold on.
So next story up, T. I don't know if you saw this, but when I tell you I saw it last night, man, I don't usually laugh at stories. You know what I mean? I usually don't laugh, but this one had me. I busted out laughing. I almost spit the water out across the table, man. I was watching the clip. ESPN was showing a clip of a baseball pitcher, and the guy who hit the home run, he was circling the base, and then when he came around third base, the baseball pitcher threw the glove down and did you see this? And stopped what he was doing and borrowed and full home tackle this dude like in the WWE.
No, what the yo? That's hilarious.
It was hilarious. It turns out it was a Texas junior college pitcher. His name is Owen Woodward. He got a 4-game suspension from North Texas Junior College Athletic Conference, and he got kicked out of the whole program. The batter was Texas College's Josh Phillips. He was suspended for 2 games because he was ejected for taunting. So he's taunting the pitcher. He ends up hitting the home run. He's roaming around the bases. Wow. I mean, you got to see this clip. It's hilarious. The dude's coming around third, and next thing you know, the dude throws literally like almost a cartoon, throws the glove down. And when I tell you the way he hit this dude, the dude came up and got body slammed on the third, and then they showed it.
But see, I missed the front part, but I caught the highlights of the tackle at the end. When they pulled the mask off him, it was Mike Tyson from the plane. I'll tell you something. That, I would be crying like if that ain't the most cartoonish stuff you could watch in sports, bro. Just the slamming of the glove. Like, I had it up to here and I can't stand it no more. And that's hilarious.
Yeah, there's no crying in baseball.
Hilarious.
Yeah, well, this dude was crying. What's your take on this? Did you see it, Daniel?
I didn't see it. You're gonna have me go on YouTube when we get off the air.
I'm gonna have to go. I'm gonna have to go check it out myself. And I think that's the other part of sports sometimes that we kind of negate. There'd be so many funny things that happen that aren't of the bigger magnitude, but when you see them, you'd be like, yo, this is hilarious. So I can't wait to see it. I'm gonna go find it on YouTube as well because I can't wait to see that one.
Yeah, well, Fig, if a Yankees pitcher did that to a Red Sox batter, and we have a whole lot more people watching Major League Baseball.
Man, listen, that was probably the most exciting thing that happened in baseball in years. And since the home run hit in between, who was it, McGuire and Sosa? It's been the most exciting thing that happened in baseball since then, man. But the funny thing about it is, man, there's a good part and the bad part. The bad part is the kid got suspended from his baseball team. The good part is there's a couple of teams in the NFL that want to see him as a linebacker.
Yeah, outside linebacker. He ain't lying. He ain't lying. He ain't lying. All right, so I want to move on to the NFL real fast because I saw this story this morning thanks to Sharonda, and I didn't even know about this one. I don't even know if you heard about this, but we all know Earl Thomas used to be with the Legion of Boom, everything else. We all know he got kicked out of the NFL 2 years ago and everything else, but now he wants to come back. He obviously 7-time All-Pro, Pro Bowl safety. He wants to resume his NFL career. He's been out of the league for 2 years. He turns 33 in May. He hasn't played since he's been released by the Baltimore Ravens in August 2020, but he got kicked out so far, according to what people are saying, and because of his attitude. And when he was on the Baltimore Ravens team, he punched Chuck Clark during a training camp practice, and some people are saying he knocked the dude out cold. And now, mind you, this is the same dude. When he was in Seattle, he's getting rolled off the cart. He's hold up his middle finger to Pete Carroll. Do you think he's going to get allowed to come in and make another NFL career? Because you got to remember now, he got the middle finger thing. He got the knocking out a teammate, not just punching a teammate, knocking out a teammate in practice. Is that a dude that you want on your football team?
Yes.
Well, actually, it is. Actually, you want that guy. He's knocking people out. You want him. But to get back in, I truly believe you're going to have whatever type of hearing boards they have set up. That guy you supposedly allegedly knocked out, and some of the other people you may have had beef with, they will have to testify on your behalf. I guarantee you. That's one of those things. Don't get it twisted because they put on shoulder pads. It's still corporate. So you're gonna need the ultimate is to bring the guy you knocked out with you to speak on your behalf. Hey, how you doing? I'm here. He hits like a mule, first of all, but he's a nice guy. He deserves a chance to.
He's a cookhouse. Duga, do you think this is a guy who's going to get a chance in the NFL? Or you think Carroll and other NFL coaches are going to blackball him?
Man, being a former basketball coach of middle school kids, man, is detrimental to the team. I wouldn't want a guy like that in my locker room. I'm just keeping it real. You knock out a teammate, you knock him out. Nah. He's probably going to get another shot because the NFL, they are a plantation breeding farm, but I wouldn't want him in my locker room.
Amir, being knocking out your teammate or holding up your middle finger on national TV to your head coach, which is
that's a bit rough. Obviously, he's definitely a distraction to the team. As we just talked about, just using basketball again for a second, you're trying to find that kind of synergy. You're trying to find that kind of energy because that's what propels you to championship wins or championship caliber, kind of playing. Hey, that other guy over there has that football league. Maybe you don't go to the NFL. I keep telling y'all, you can go help, who over there. And maybe the rules are a little bit more relaxed over there. Maybe you can throw up your middle finger and do certain things. Who knows? We haven't really seen, that whole situation yet. So you can bring a whole new sense of energy to to that setting. You're still 33, you're still usable. Just the NFL may not be where your services are necessarily needed. Go on over there, talk to the big guy, see what they can do for you.
Fig, I'm not going to say that holding up your middle finger is not bad on national TV and everything else. I'm not going to say punching your coach is not bad and everything else. But the NFL has let people in the league for a lot worse. You know what I mean? They have let people in there. So do you see him getting a second chance in the league? Or what's your take?
Listen, man, if he could play, he may get a second chance in the NFL. But here's the thing. It's probably slim to none. So the good news and the bad news. The bad news is he probably won't play in the NFL. The good news is that he's going to fight in an exhibition against Tyson Fury and make twice the amount of money in one fight that he did his entire career in the NFL.
Yeah, that's probably absolutely right. And then if he gets knocked out and he wants to do a repeat of the game, he'll probably make twice more than that. You know what I mean? Because we all know that's how it goes. Talent. The GM of the Arizona Cardinals said there's zero chance, absolutely zero chance he's trading. I'll say it again for the third time. He said, I've said it before. I'll say it 3 times. I'm not trading Kyler Murray. That's what he said. Now let's hear the facts. The facts also remain that people have been hearing that Arizona Cardinals are shopping Kyler Murray. Now, do you believe the rumors, or do you believe the GM, and do you believe that Kyler Murray is going to get traded before because right now the draft is next week, bro. Actually, it's beginning of next week. So what do you think is going to happen, T?
I think that I believe the GM, first of all. I believe the GM, but more importantly, it's a league where never say never. So you may really feel that way today, Friday. And like you said, the draft's around the corner, and that day may be a different day. But right now, I'm going to give the benefit of the doubt to the GM.
Okay, benefit of the doubt to the GM. Daniel Dugai, benefit of the doubt to the GM?
You know what? I don't trust none of them, and I think that little Teletubby can be traded.
Teletubby. Well, man, what's your take?
I think he's on the trading block.
I think so too.
First off, I think, but just based off the fact that he is, put that energy out, in the universe and as far as the team goes, because again, we talk about team camaraderie. The quarterback is the quintessential guy for the team.
Right.
If you don't want to be there, how are you expected to lead these guys? And you've been preaching all summer, I don't want to be here. I hate y'all. I hate that. Who's going to listen to you in the locker room? Dudes be in the locker room like, they still let this guy in here? Nobody took away his credentials, none of that? Okay.
Right.
So, like, what are we doing? Like, it's crazy to me.
Fig, I'm going to say this. I wouldn't mind seeing Kyler Murray on San Francisco. Well, actually, that was before they, Deebo Samuel situation, or Pittsburgh. I wouldn't mind seeing him on Pittsburgh Steelers, bro. But if he's getting traded, where would you like to see him land? Because I think he's going to get traded. What do you think?
My new team, the Pittsburgh Steelers. Absolutely. I'd love to see Kyler Murray playing on the Pittsburgh Steelers. And can you believe the GM? Absolutely not. Let me tell you what the GM is doing. He's pushing up that stock. They're like, we're going to trade Kyler Murray, but we ain't giving away for a song. We want a little bit more. So when you say I'm not trading him, then what that does is get the people who want Kyler Murray to sweeten the pot a little bit. I'm going to give you a number 1 and something else, or I'm going to give you 2 draft picks and a consolation player or stuff like that. You pushing up his stock, his trade bait. If you say you're not trading, but you say, hey, we want to get rid of him, then people gonna offer you a slice of cake and a Coke and a smile.
Yeah, because you ruin your stock, your stock ranking when it's horrible when you do it like that. But when you try to trade somebody, nobody knows you're trying to trade them. You get more for them. T, check this out. This morning, the NFL literally filed a motion. And they contacted Brian Flores' attorneys because they said, listen, we want to take this right now. We know what happened. We know it's ugly. Can we handle this in arbitration? And Brian Flores basically said, hell no, I'm not handling this in arbitration. I want everybody to see how this goes. I want everybody to see this. And his quote actually was, I want to make sure we need transparency in this. Now, remember that there's a black woman who's heading up the NFL, obviously, the attorney and everything else. I'm sure that was probably her recommendation. But T, do you want this to be handled in arbitration, or do you want it to be known out and out, like what happened? You want to know everything from A to Z. What's your take on this, T?
Yeah, treat this like a reverse lynch. Tie their asses up, parade them through the town. That's us, the fanatics. Let everybody unveil, lift his skirt. Unveil. Let us see everything. See, arbitration, he knows exactly what that means. We go behind closed doors and our two parties go back and forth. The public is not watching. So he's like, no, let this play out like it's been playing out. Let's go to the public hearings and court. You think court TV ain't already got their fingernails in this one? Like, can we be in the, can we show it? Can we air it? Let it be aired. I agree. Transparency is everything. Anything going forward today, whether you're dealing with sexual stuff, you're dealing with race stuff, you're dealing with inequalities, because we're supposed to be on this politically correct path, correct? The climate's supposed to change. So then we all need to see what's going on.
So, okay, that's one way to look at it. Daniel Dugard, do you think it helps and benefits the fans if we see the total transparency of the situation? Or
hey, man,
full transparency?
Where is Chuck D when you need him? He's gonna resurface. He's about to resurface. I say fight the power, baby. We don't need no arbitration. Let's keep it out there in plain, clear sight for people to see just how foul these gatekeepers are in the NFL. That's why they want arbitration, because they know that this brother has something.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's his take. Amir, I'm going to say this to you. Do you think it's best for the fan to see full transparency and best for the NFL overall at the game to see full transparency, or do you think we should have it go to arbitration? What's your take, Amir?
Fortunately, unfortunately, this boils down to two things. For those who look like us, obviously, full transparency is what we want. For those who don't look like us, guess what? The same way that they were mad at Colin Kaepernick, the same way that they have always tried to spin the narrative, that's what you're going to see. Oh, why? What is this going to prove? What does this really say? I mean, look, this was a isolated situation between these, teams and this particular coach. You know how they spin that narrative. So I'm glad that the man has decided to say, hey, no. Let's keep this in the court of public opinion and everything, because we need to make sure that going forward, things won't be handled in this mysterious back room kind of way. So I'm fight the power, fight the powers that be.
Right. Do I need to even ask Fig X? Do I need to ask Fig X what he wants? Fig, do I?
Hey, man, listen, you know what it is. It's the cover up all over again. What's done in the dark will eventually come to the light. It may take a while. It may take a long time, but it's eventually coming out. And the thing is, they got that sister lawyer over there. She looked at the evidence. She was like, you better settle. You better settle, because he got a lot of stuff on it. And if this comes out, the whole NFL, the Shield, and everything that they have in their reputation is going to come to light. And it's time, man. Listen, it's about time. It's a new day, and it's time for all. Just like when Donald Trump got in office, he brought out all the closet racists and stuff like that. Let it out. Let it out. Let us see who the real enemies are. You know, why y'all hiding? Why would you hide behind closed doors? Come on out. Let us see you. Let us get a good look at you, and let us decide if we want to if we want to support your product or not. Show us how you really feel about us, so we can decide if we want to withhold our dollars.
Yo, look at Dugard. The copy Wi-Fi is driving him.
Man, your Wi-Fi is affecting me, Fig. I don't know what's going on.
I can't even see you. You have pixelated to the point where you look like a abstract painting. Only thing I can see is Frank Talent and a beer. Let me tell you something, man. The Wi-Fi is here so horrible that if I cut it on, I won't even be able to be on the show. So I cut the Wi-Fi off completely.
Hey, Amir, I think you need to transfer some of your synergy to him, man, because he needs some service.
Just get finished telling you Wi-Fi is garbage here.
All right, so T, the next up, man, is Jared Goff act like he's not.
Wi-Fi is horrible.
he act like he's not upset because the word is leaked out that Detroit is going to select a QB in the draft. It looks like that there are a couple of NFL prospects that Detroit is talking about, and Detroit has the number 2 and 32 overall picks. But Jared Goff is literally the QB up there. So do you think Detroit should hold on to Jared Goff and get a second round QB, or do you think Detroit should even fool everybody and trade Jared Goff and then get the number 2 pick and then start all over again with this new rookie coming out of college right now? What do you think they should do, T?
I mean, it's Detroit, man. It's Detroit Lions, bro. There's no right or wrong answer here. Detroit is the only team we have in the league that's forever rebuilding. Detroit Lions is single-handedly the only team in the NFL that is rebuilding every decade. They just keep rebuilding. Detroit, there's some new buildings up.
You know what's funny? You're a Jets fan cracking on the Detroit Lions fan.
Because at least the Jets, they will get somebody and they'll have a 3-4 year run at a time. Detroit has never had a 3-4 year run at a time. It's always rebuilding. And here's the thing. I think we see this is our problem. We hear rebuilding and we assume that they're going to get good players and compete. No, I've been to Detroit. They put a new casino downtown.
It's a wrap.
Their rebuilding is totally not what we're talking about. That's why they're always in football purgatory. So there's no wrong answer. I say like this, because Jared Goff's a decent quarterback. I said for his life and sake, get out of there. Go somewhere and contend. Barry Sanders, since that, him and Megatron, we don't want to see no more wasted super careers in Detroit. If they're not going to go to win and put together a 4-winning team, let's not waste no more people over there like that.
Yeah. It's really sad when you think about Megatron. It's really sad. So, D, do you think they should trade? You think they should trade Goff and then draft the number 2, get a QB, a new QB?
I think what they should do, they should trade Goff, those draft picks, and get everybody in Detroit some water filters because the water is really still bad there. That's how you rebuild. That's how you rebuild.
That's hilarious.
Bring that water in from Flint.
That's how you rebuild.
Man, what's your take on this, bro?
That's so crazy that T brought that up because I was thinking the same thing. I was like, they haven't been good since Megatron, and that was some time ago. What are y'all doing? And the funny thing is, you don't even really think about it because they're not in the conversation ever. Week in and week out, as terrible as your team may be, you still don't feel like you like Detroit. You be like, we doing okay. We're not Detroit though. We know that. We're not Detroit, and that's crazy to me. But yeah, I think let's get on out of there, young man. Find you a contender or a team that at least could utilize your skill sets now, because it doesn't make sense for you to be in purgatory. As far as the NFL goes, that's the new purgatory team. It was the Browns for a little bit, but now, it's going to friggin' Detroit. And you just be out there I think I'm in the pros. I'm not 100% sure. They said that we're a pro team, but it's 50-50. So I don't know.
Bring him back to the Bay. Bring him back to the Bay. He played at Cal. Let him come play with the 49ers.
Yeah, he did play with Cal. And he was good at Cal.
Let him come play with the 49ers.
What's your take?
Hey, man, here it is, man. Detroit has such a stigma on them, man. They just need to change their name like Washington did. They had to call them the Michigan Lions. Because the Detroit Lions is just horrible. And here it is. Unfortunately, I'm about to say something, man, but here it is. Detroit seems to run their organization like James Dolan was running the Knicks. They want one star player just to get the people in the stands, and then everybody else is like mediocre. Because you think they had Barry Sanders, they had Megatron. You know what I mean? It's like they get that one star and they go, okay, that's it. We don't need no more. We got our star. The people go come, they're going to spend their money and stuff like that. And we ain't really trying to win. Sometimes them organizations ain't trying to win. And I think that's the deal with Detroit. So they need to change the whole thing around, get to call themselves the Michigan Lions and see if they could trick some players and be like, the Michigan Lions. Maybe I will go to that team. Maybe they could, fool some people.
It's a great possibility on that one. Live story. Here it is, T. Oscar De La Hoya has been accused of sexually assaulting a woman twice in 2020. Now, when I first saw this, I ain't gonna lie, I was shocked because I thought this may sound really terrible, but I thought Oscar De La Hoya was gay. I literally thought that because I thought he got caught. I can't remember. I could have sworn like didn't he get caught up with some dude? Something, you know, I don't pay attention to boxing like that. I thought he was gay. But anyway, according to this right here, a woman says she's filed a civil lawsuit in Los Angeles against him and his tequila brand. Notice how she said against him and his tequila brand, Casa Mexico. A woman who is his former employee alleges in the filing that he had sexually harassed her and sexually assaulted her on 2 separate occasions. She said on the first night she awoke, De La Hoya knocked on the door. She opened the door. She said he was standing there with his pants down around his ankles. He forced his way in and sexually assaulted her. The second, in the following morning, he showed up for a scheduled meeting to tour the distillery, and she claims he went to his room to wake him up. She went after she got assaulted the night before. She went to his room to wake him up the next morning and alleged that De La Hoya pulled her into his bed and sexually assaulted her. Now, that's what she filed. It sounds really fishy to me. You know what I mean? If you get sexually assaulted the night before, you're gonna go to his room the next morning. Listen, I don't understand this stuff.
You know, this is why we got to be careful with the climate today with all these changes. We're changing the definition of a lot of stuff. And that's the new thing right now. It's like I get involved with you until I'm ready not to be. And on top of that, when I'm ready not to be, I can go back to old stuff that happened already and say, well, he assaulted me. And that's
but
lady watches out there. This is not me. This is not an insensitive man comic. I'm not mansplaining. So this is what I mean by the new rules, mansplaining. The fuck is that? I'm explaining that I'm a man. Listen, the point is, this is the new climate. We've seen this time and time again where, yeah, we had dealings, and then all the way up until a point where I'm done, or you say you're done with me and I'm not in agreement, whatever the case may be. When we get to that point, that pinnacle pressure, I can say, you know what? I'm assaulted. And I can bring up some recent events because we were together. And you're going to find the DNA. You're going to find, why was you there? Your stuff was on the bed, your hair. Because I was really there. It's just that the end result, this woman don't like the end, whether I told her it's over or we're breaking up, or she's just tired of me and wants to pay there, whatever the case may be.
Or Daniel Duga, or here's the big or, and this is a big one. Or if Oscar De La Hoya literally comes out and officially says he's gay and blows up all of that, because I could have sworn I've heard. Now I gotta look this up, but I could have sworn I heard that he had some mixes with some guys.
He had some dealings, Frank. He wasn't. Let's be clear, because this again, we got to go by these new rules. He had some dealings. He was caught out there with some dealings, but people are not technically calling themselves gay unless they live the lifestyle. If they don't come out as being a part of the lifestyle, that's just their sexual preferences. They could go both ways. They could, be with a woman Tuesday, a man Friday, whatever the case may be. But no matter who comes out and says that, I still have the evidence that you slept with this woman the night before, in the morning after, right? No matter if he like men or he's getting engaged to a man, this happened, so we still got to deal with this thing that happened. But like you said, if I assaulted you the night before, why would you be the person to come wake me up in my room, in my bed, the following morning? Something's there already.
Yeah, and Daniel, that's literally how that case could get blown up. Like literally what he said.
Man,
like, I think it's two things.
We live in a society. We live in a society today where all of us men on here, we've all had our prostate checked. Are we gay? And I don't understand how men will show up at a hotel room door of a woman with their pants down to the ankles. Someone can easily pull the fire alarm. Thirdly, I think he hurt her feelings, and she said she heard something that she didn't like, so she's going after him in the brand.
Amir, a dude guy just hit a nail on the head at that, because she's suing him, and the brand. That sounds like a money reach for me, but I'm not saying she's not. She could have been, but like I said earlier when I was talking to T, I could have sworn this man was gay, and But then again, I think he was married too. So I don't know. I mean, I don't know. What you think?
No, it does sound, very fishy and messy. The other part of it is tequila. Look, for those who are not tequila drinkers, and I know T is an aficionado on this panel, tequila's the real deal. You can't be, just tiptoeing with that stuff. If that is not your brand of liquor, don't be out here just all willy-nilly with that. You gotta be official with that, or don't do it. Because it will have you in compromising positions that you won't even be able to explain. So, hey, leave the tequila alone. That's all I'm gonna say about that.
No, that's because why would she mention the brand? There's something extra fishy about it that if I'm really assaulted and I feel a certain way as a woman, I'm going to the powers that be. I'm saying De La Hoya, De La Hoya. I'm not gonna be like, oh yeah, put in there the liquor brand. You got liquor brand. Put Rolls Royce. Yeah, because I'm so hurt. Put Rolls Royce, Casamigo. What? How hurt are you? Go to the powers that be and want the full extent of the law on this guy's back to get some sort of justice and retribution. There's a show just came out on Netflix, a limited series called The Anatomy of a Scandal. Check that out.
Check that out.
That's this what we're talking about right here. The Anatomy of a Scandal.
Fig, what's your take? You got the last word, bro.
Well, first off, everybody's tiptoeing around what's really going on. Oscar De La Hoya has been photographed wearing a fishnet cat suit. So when Amir said things smell fishy, he was absolutely right, because he was wearing fishnet black pantyhose and had big legs showing through them holes. And I think that was the lyrics of the song from the time. So I think she was upset because he invited her on a date, and when she showed up, he was wearing that outfit and was with another guy at the time, because I think he also had on lipstick, and it was actually hers, and she was very upset. And the reason that she's suing his tequila brand is because that was on the table when she showed up. So I just wanted to wrap this whole thing up with a nice little bow and put everybody on bring everybody up to date as to what's going on, because she was mad at Oscar, she was mad at his date, and she was mad at the tequila was on the table, and she didn't get a chance to open it herself.
Hey, thank you for that wrap up, because we were tiptoeing around it. I'm gonna say this, Frank. It's amazing that this story came up at the end of the show, because I was in the bar at the comedy show last night, and me and two of my friends were talking, and they were saying certain things about women and how they back and forth and funny style, and they can't call it. I said, well, I'll tell you this, bro. Times have changed so much that this day and age is no longer catch and kill like we used to. All that pray and I'm scheming, I'm gonna push up, I gotta have a good line. As grown ass men on this panel, nowadays, not of course you married guys, I'm not talking to y'all, but us young guys out here that are single, we can't chase. We have to be chosen and picked and let it come to you. You know what I mean? That puts the leverage and the evidence, shall it be a day that need to be, in your favor. Be chosen now, guys, as grown-ass men with the climate change, because there's such a fun line, as you can see in this case right here, of going from having fun.
So you mean to tell me that women are chasing you all? That's what's going on in a single life, bro? I didn't know that. That's
Frank.
I got
Frank.
I'm not
Frank, listen, when I was single, that was always my motto. If you didn't like me, I wasn't messing with you. You had to actually show that you like me. I ain't never chased I ain't chased nobody.
It's the illusion.
Good.
It's the illusion of us men believing that we actually chase. The woman always chooses. She just makes us believe that we're hunting, but she always chooses.
She always
100% right.
You still got to chase. Like even when they were the choosers, you still chasing. You just might not catch the prey.
No, you're not actually Taylor. You're not chasing. You're just presenting yourself. You're just presenting yourself for her to choose.
And she already knows. They know when you walk in the room. They're like, man, I'm gonna get him tonight. It's a batting of an eyelash. It's sending over a flanker.
No choice. Yeah, I mean, we're not. Those two things can simultaneously still be happening at the same time. Yeah. You can still be chasing. At the end of the day, she's gonna choose. But here's the thing about being chosen. when you wait and be chosen, you don't have to perform that well.
But Talon, you still have waves. You shouldn't even worry about Tracy. They're going to choose.
We gotta go. We gotta go. T, everybody out there how to follow you, bro. We gotta go.
If you got anybody in state, Rochester, 2 shows tonight, people, Middletown, 1 show tomorrow, and Sunday we out in Long Island, the headline of the comedy show in Long Island. All that can be seen on the Instagram, Talent Duck Comedian. Check it out. Hope to see you at the show, man. Bam, let's go.
Hey T, I believe this. Since you ain't got to perform that well, I believe you with this. D.
Hey, look, what can they say? I'll be like, you brought me here.
Yeah, and this is what happened.
Yeah,
What happened? D, how can we find you?
Hey, man, you can find me on IG, Dugar007. I'm in San Antonio tomorrow, some corporate gig, so y'all can't come.
A-Rock Sealy down there at the bottom on IG. Catch me and Talent tonight, 6 p.m. For Race Debaters. And Mia Sealy on Twitter, Mia Sealy on Facebook.
Fig.
Hey, it's your boy at Comedian Fig on all social media platforms. And tonight, I'm in New Jersey at the Hackensack Performing Arts Center. So if you're in New Jersey and you want to get these laughs, come on and get them, because I'm going to be dishing them out by the dozens.
Well, thank you all. Amir, thank you for joining the show. Dugard, thank you for joining the show. Thanks to Talent. Thanks to Fig. Rodney Perry will be back next week. Mike Sean will be back too. Thank y'all for watching. It's called Boxing with Comedians Talk Sports. Peace.